Hello world, it's Kurtis Potter, Zion Potter, and Cypress Potter with Boundless.
What's Spider-Man?
Boundless, and he's got Spider-Man. Today I wanted to talk to you about remembering your why and being why focused in 2022. So it's easy, I want to stand up now. It's so easy to lose your focus, right? And I have to admit, I've done that for myself. I've done that myself plenty of times in my life. And looking back, it's easy to look back and evaluate, like, man, I shouldn't have done this or I should have done that. And, it's easy, especially like for me at the end of the year. I'm just looking at all the things that I've done this year, why I did them, and, and to become the best version of myself and why I want to even do that. It's easy to just live through life, and I've been in that place multiple times, plenty of times in my life, where I was just allowing life to dictate my day, dictate my actions. And it was really when I learned about intentionality and the power that it has, and really looking in the mirror. A lot of times I didn't want to. I've messed up plenty of times in my life, and I've made the same mistakes plenty of times, and I'd call them mistakes, but those were choices. And for me, for those kiddos, that's why I'm doing this last video of the year, is why focused in 2022. Because see, there's times where, for instance, one of my sisters, she criticized my commitment to the gym for my whole life. And she even said to me, well, when you finally quit, it's going to be easy for you to gain weight, right? She's like, then you'll gain weight even faster. You'll get fatter. You'll be out of shape. You'll have that lack of energy. And you know what? I learned that this year when I was so dedicated to my job and wasn't why focused on my gym habits. That's when I did. I started to get worn out, and now she gets worn out. She was holding my daughter the other day and said her arms were sore, and it was like, so what's your why? Are you not going to go to the gym because it's too hard and it takes up your time? Or are you going to go to the gym because you don't want to get to where you're worn out and where you can't even lift children or play with children without being worn out, or going up a flight of stairs, or having back and knee problems because of your weight, and going to the hospital? It's like, I don't want to invest that time and money into the gym, but eventually it'll get to where you're going to invest that same time and money, if not more, into hospitals and medicine, and then you could die a lot earlier than you have to. I don't know why John Madden, I didn't look it up, why he passed away, but I know that the dude was a little bit overweight, and I'm like, man, I talked in my previous video about the legacy he left and us leaving a legacy. And it's like, when I was speaking to some guys about it, I was the most in shape person in the room. And I was like, we all talked about our callings in life and what we're doing. And it was in the men's group for church. So they were talking about what they could do for the Lord. And I brought up being fit, and they laughed at me. And I said, but you know what? In the Bible, it says, God, take care of your temple, which is your body. And they're all like downplaying it, like, nope, it's kind of like cherry picking the Bible, in life. And we want to cherry pick, and when we point our fingers and stuff, it's like those three fingers are pointing back at us, or normally those three habits that we don't want to own, because that's what hits us deep. That's what we resist. That's what we struggle with. Sorry, I got to help the daughter. She's falling. But when I said it's about the temple, and they're like, well, what's the big deal? Because, who cares if I die when I'm 60, 70, 80? And I was like, how many more years could you walk in your calling? How many more years can you spend with your children, your grandchildren, your significant other, doing the things, even if you don't believe in God, that you're eventually going to go to heaven and have eternal life. Like, how many more years can you get on this earth when you got one life to live? And I've seen 80-year-olds running marathons, in great shape and live to be 100. And you know, I used to even say, well, I don't want to live to an age where I gotta have my diaper changed or I gotta walk with a cane and a walker and stuff. And it's like, so why am I doing my gym time and eating healthy? Do I want to eat some of that junk food? Absolutely. And there's been plenty of times in my life where, man, I love some food and I love fast food and I made excuses for it, but I realized the effect it was having on my body. You know, there's plenty of times where I resisted change in my relationship because I was so stubborn. But then it was like, you know, if you go through a point where you risk losing the one you love, then it's like, you know what, I had to remember my why and why it was important for me to grow and change and become the best version of myself. You know, there's times where I stopped and I started this Boundless inspiration and I had to go back to remembering my why of why I do it. Because see, when I was down in a deep pit, you know, like 7 years ago, I was having those suicidal thoughts. It was Eric Thomas who pulled me out of it. He helped me realize my value in life again and set me on that path. And I realized that I was in such a dark place that I was debating suicide, and how he helped me. And I know that there's other people on this earth that are struggling to understand their why. They have you know, just that bitterness, that jealousy, the abandonment issues, the self-worth issues, the suicidal thoughts. And I do this for them. I had a lady reach out to me, and this ain't to brag. It's just, I had a lady to reach out to me, and she had a stroke. And this lady was swimming like 35 miles a day. And she said that I helped her by seeing my videos. She's in Florida, you know, 20 hours away, but she saw some of my videos while she was sitting in the hospital struggling to get up because she had a cane and she's used to swimming 35 miles. I don't know if it's a week, I think actually, but it's like, you know, my why. That's why I continue to do this. And not only past that, but like, I've clocked into jobs where I hated them. I went to work for someone else and they said, you can't go speak at the prison to help the kids. You know, I've worked jobs where I left before my kids woke up in the morning, and I didn't get home until they was after asleep. And it was like, this is my why. And for Boundless Inspiration, I know one day I'm going to get paid to speak. And it's not about the money. It's the fact that I'll be getting paid to do what I love doing and helping people grow and finding their purpose in life and becoming the best version of themselves. And not only that, my wife and I started Boundless Youth to build rec centers for kids and foster homes for kids, because the kids deserve the best versions of ourselves. And the thing is I know that I'm going to tithe 10% of my money to that Boundless. Building rec centers. You want to get back down? Building rec centers and foster homes for kids. And see, your dreams may be different than mine. You may never want to have kids. You may never want to stop watching TV. You know, and I recommend that you do whatever you love doing. Just everything is good in moderation. So if it is that food, the TV, the social media, if there's things that are controlling your life, they're your master, I just invite you as the end of this year comes to remember your why. Remember your pains, remember your joys, remember your happiness, remember your bucket list. You know, my anger was not my problem. It was the things that I hadn't let go of that was the problem that caused that anger. And I had to realize why I was doing the things that I was doing in order to fix them. It took a lot of looking in the mirror. It took a lot of hurt and heartache and losing people that I loved, people walking out of my life. It took a lot of that pain. And the reason why I do this is because I don't want you to feel that same pain or some kind of pain. Pain sucks. It hurts. Growth hurts too. But I promise you, all the pain that I felt from not willing to grow hurt more. And that was my why to read books, to go to counseling, to recommend to my wife marriage counseling, to not give up because the grass ain't greener on the other side. It was greener where you water it and where you weed it. And I had to weed the things out of my life because I thought about my why. And And my wife was part of my why. I love her to death and want to spend the rest of my life with her. My kids, so they can see an amazing marriage where they just say, Dad, man, it's crazy how much you love Mom. Mom, it's crazy how much you love Dad. And we could say to them, like, hey, you know what? That was us being intentional about getting to that point. We wanted to give up. There were times where we didn't remember our why, and we focused on the bad instead of focusing on the good. All those great memories and times we shared. We lost our focus. And see, it's just that easy of making a choice to get refocused and remember the great things. Remember the joys from going to the gym. Remember how great you felt from eating healthy. Remember when you was achieving all your dreams and goals and how awesome it felt, the memories you were creating, the vacations you went on. Remember that amazing job you had that you loved and it wasn't a burden to set the alarm clock. Remember when you communicated clearly and efficiently, professionally, as a mature adult with people, and how amazing your relationships are. You know, I don't know what I'm speaking to you. You know what's going on with you. And at the end of this year, I just invite you to evaluate what it is, your why, so that way in 2022 we don't lose our focus. We stay why focused, and I'm going to help you do that throughout this year. I love you all. Thank you again for just being so supportive in this year of 2021. Regardless if there were some ups and downs, I'm just so thankful that I was able to speak with all you all and tell you my flaws that I've been getting through. I'm still working through. I'm still not perfect. I'm still not boundless, but every single day just a step closer to being boundless. And sometimes it's because of my why. Actually, a lot of times it was because of my why. I love you all. Find your why. Like, share, comment, tag somebody in this, challenge them. Put your why on there, why you're going to be why focused in 2022 to make 2022 an amazing year of your life and just the first of many amazing years of our lives. I love you all. Have a great day. Be safe tonight. An Uber costs $12, $20, $30 at the most. A DUI costs more, or a death. I know somebody got in a wreck and killed some people and they're in prison. They lived and the other people died. Please don't make us open up our social media tomorrow to see that. We love you all. Have a great, safe night. Happy New Year's. I hope you had an amazing holiday. Why focused in 2022.